Hello, this is Dr. Maury Markman from City of Hope, and I'm delighted to talk about a few of the ESMO abstracts that recently presented at the meetings as related to GYN cancers over the next several sessions. Uh, Today, I want to talk about a very interesting study, the abstract entitled Final Overall Survival in Patients with Newly Diagnosed Advanced Ovarian Cancer Treated with Niraparib First-Line Maintenance. Results from the PRIMA and GOT-OV26 GOT 3012 trial. These results, the early results, I think are certainly known to most oncologists, GYN oncologists, because they were presented, published a number of years ago with the data on progression-free survival, which in fact led to regulatory approval for the use of niraparib as a first-line maintenance strategy. This particular abstract, as noted in the title, was focusing on overall survival results. Again, not to go over in detail the entry criteria, but it really was a maintenance strategy approach. There were several specific subgroups, obviously including patients who are known to be BRCA mutation, patients who had homologous recombination deficiency defined by proprietary algorithm, and a group of patients who, in fact, were felt to be proficient, meaning they did not have deficiency in homologous recombination deficiency, homologous recombination. This is data we're talking about long-term follow-up here. We're talking about a median of 6.2 years in follow-up. And again, to comment on the progression-free survival endpoint in the population that had homologous recombination deficiency, there was an improvement with a hazard ratio of 0.43, very impressive, in the niraparib-treated maintenance therapy patients versus placebo. And in the overall population, there was a hazard ratio of 0.62 niraparib versus placebo. Again, data that has previously been discussed. What this report was looking at specifically at overall survival. And is noted and notable that, in fact, overall survival in the populations, whether you're talking about the homologous recombination deficient population or the overall population, there was no difference in overall survival between the patients who received niraparib in the frontline maintenance setting versus placebo. However, it's very important to note, and this data was collected prospectively in the trial, that there was a threefold higher subsequent use of a PARP inhibitor, which is FDA approved in the second-line setting and later, threefold higher subsequent use of PARP inhibitor in the placebo arm compared to the patients who were in the niraparib arm. There was in the deficient population, homologous recombination deficient population, was 48.4% versus 15.8% of patients who had actually had niraparib. In other words, 48% of the patients who were in the placebo arm subsequently received a PARP inhibitor. And, therefore, certainly, since we know PARP inhibitors work in the second line or later setting, any deficiency that might have occurred or some level of deficiency that might have occurred because of the fact they didn't get the PARP inhibitor in the front line was overcome by the use of the PARP inhibitor later. And that could certainly be an important justification or explanation for why overall survival was not different. The point to be made here is there wasn't a detriment in survival. All patients, or a large percentage of the patients, have benefited from the use of PARP inhibitor, whether it was first line or second line. The end result of the primary endpoint in this study was PFS, which was a major difference between the two groups. The other point to be made here, very important, is that long-term safety data, again, with the median follow-up now of 6.2 years, was consistent with the known safety profile of niraparib, and in particular, what one is interested in or be concerned about was the risk of myelodysplastic syndrome or acute leukemia, but there was not an additional safety signal here, which again is very encouraging. An important paper, important abstract, important paper, important follow-up. Obviously, a very important drug used in the maintenance setting in advanced ovarian cancer. And I thank you for your attention.